they're
Well, I mean,
the people there.
it's not a franchise, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Well,
is
yeah, but that's
one.
that's that's the character still mentioning stuff that's in the universe of the movie.
Oh,
Deadpool
hmm.
mentions things that are outside of the universe of the movie, like way
Okay.
outside. So he's
Oh,
mentioning Green
interesting.
Lantern. He's talking
Yeah.
about other characters that Ryan Reynolds has played, other characters that Hugh Jackman has played. He's mentioning all of this stuff.
When he's
Like
like,
really
when he says
interesting.
to Cable, he's like, "Man, you're really dark. You sure you're not from the DC
Yeah,
universe?"
yeah, yeah. Hello and welcome to the Brothers Random Show. My name is Travis,
I'm Michael.
and we are two ordinary brothers discussing extraordinary ideas and some random shit. Michael, why are we here?
Today we are talking about Deadpool 2.
Oh, I shit my pants.
Actually, that may have been me.
Oh, you're living the dreams, DP. Yeah. Devil may care attitude. Strong thighs. Beautiful girlfriend.
Sorry I'm late. I was rounding up all the gluten in the world and launching into space where it can't not hurt us ever again.
Kiss me like you miss me, Red.
In preparation for Deadpool and Wolverine that it's coming out soon, we wanted to review the Deadpool movies. So here we go.
Yeah, this is number 3 of that series. We did a Logan one, we did a Deadpool 1, and now we're doing Deadpool 2. And
Speaking of which, Deadpool 2 starts out with a little toy of dead Logan.
Of Dead Logan, like gives away the ending of Logan, the movie.
Well, it came out after, right?
Yeah, it came out after.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. So,
yeah, and all the marketing material was like referenced Logan, and so
yeah.
basically Deadpool is just sitting there lampooning all things serious.
Anyway, we can get into the stories.
So we'll do a spoiler section later. Overall thoughts, I guess. My overall thoughts: the first Deadpool was extremely entertaining and kind of unique because it was lampooning all of the stuff with all the serious Marvel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deadpool 2, I would say, I don't want to say wears out its welcome. I just didn't think it was as good of a movie.
Yeah.
It's probably just as funny, probably just with a little less, I don't know, heart to it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They leaned really heavy into the funny and the action. The action's actually pretty impressive, but it's not as good. It's just not as good as the first one, I would say. And definitely doesn't hold a candle to Logan, which we've both expressed that Logan is probably our favorite X-Men of all X-Men movies. So
yeah,
what are
this
your
it's still funny. It's got some good laughs in it. Once again, it starts out trying to be serious, but then you get some more laughs throughout. And once again, you're running into a problem with trying to be serious, but also breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, that was probably a little bit of a problem with the first one, maybe. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's
it
tough to
worked.
do. I
For
think
me,
it's tough to do.
for me, it worked for the first one. It just didn't feel like it worked as well. There's something about this one that didn't work, and I'm not sure. I can't really put my finger on it because the truth is I memory hold this movie. I saw this movie in theaters, and I forgot most of it.
Yeah.
I rewatched it for this, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh, I remember this, and I vaguely remember this." And there's some great cameos in it that are hilarious, and that's almost all I remembered about it before rewatching this. So I don't know if that's a really good testament of a good movie, is if you memory hold the when you originally saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I thought
it,
it was pretty funny him getting putting together the team and
yeah,
then
but then what was the point to the team? Because it just like I
That's
mean,
what
I
that's
guess
what's
that's the
funny.
joke. Is that the
That's kind
joke?
of part of the joke. Everyone
Okay.
dies. Like they all kind of die.
Hey,
and
spoilers. Spoilers. We're not in
and
spoilers.
that
Yeah.
but they it's funny that they got Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt gets asked about it every so often, and he's
About
like,
his cameo. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it took just a few minutes and it was pretty funny. And that was it.
That was it. that was
Yeah.
that was his cameo. That's like his great Marvel cameo.
But
I don't know. So the story, I guess we really got to get into spoilers to actually talk about the story. So maybe we should do that.
yeah, yeah, we can just get into it. It's been out for a while, so
All right. Spoilers now. I think it's a mistake that they killed Vanessa off in the first 10 minutes.
well, doesn't it seem like she's coming back somehow for the
Well, they got a
Deadpool
lot of
and
flack. They got a lot of flack for this because this happens a lot of the time. And it's called I think it's called bridging the girl. And it's
Mhm.
referring to a time where like in the comic books, like the girlfriend would get like vaporized or something. And so it only provided motivation for the main character, which is kind of
Kill
true.
off the woman to
Yeah, to
provide
motivation
motivation
for the
character.
main guy. And
Gotcha.
it's become kind of taboo to talk about this, but it's like yeah, I thought it was a mistake. It just kind of feels like a mistake. They shouldn't have done it that way. They should have found a way to integrate her into the story, made it more interesting. I think that was probably the first like and so he's trying to kill himself the whole time. Uh that and it's funny because it's kind of got that Looney Tunes violence quality to it. He's
Yeah.
trying to blow himself up and he does all these different things and he figures out, later in the movie how to actually succeed at it. It's okay. It just I can't put my finger on why I thought this was kind of way inferior to the first one, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that it might be that. It might be the fact that they got rid of the girlfriend early on that provides him with motivation, but then he meets a kid and you don't really get why his motivation is because they wanted to have kids together. That is his motivation to help out the Russell kid.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It gets a little, the story kind of gets a little crazy because he ends up in jail with the kid, and then you meet Cable, and
Yeah,
I liked Cable. Josh
as a
Brolin is great. I always enjoy Josh Brolin's characters.
all we get is a motivation, a little bit of a motivation for him too, but then later down the road they are on the same side.
That was a funny scene when Juggernaut, he's like, I'm such a big fan. And he's like, I'm gonna break you in half now, and just like
tears him. Yeah.
and then it shows it.
The violence is
He's growing his legs,
he's
and
growing
everybody's
legs
like,
back.
why is his, and his like
Why is he
penis is
naked?
out?
Why don't you
Everybody's
put some
talking to
pants on? Oh my gosh. It does
uh,
it gets into it. It might have gotten too far into the absurd, and whereas
maybe.
the first one kind of just touched on it a couple of times, and this one kind of got further. I would consider the first one actually a pretty good movie overall.
Yeah.
And this one's a competent sequel, I guess, but it makes me wonder where it leaves his character. Especially after the fact that he fixes the time travel device that Cable has. So
Mhm.
Cable's the villain, has a time travel device, is going to Back to the Future so that he can kill the kid that Deadpool has befriended. And Deadpool is sees his motivation is to keep him
keep him from
good.
turning evil.
Yeah, keep him from turning evil.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine as far as plots are concerned, but I mean, it is, you know, I guess comedies aren't really known for their plots, so
Mhm.
I don't know if it matters that they put a lot of effort into this plot, because I think they had a bigger budget with this. The action scenes are competent and well done. It just didn't. It's just not as iconic, I guess, is the
Mhm.
best way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny in the first one, he comes to the school, the Xavier school,
Yeah,
and he makes a breaking the fourth wall comment. He's like, it's almost like we didn't have enough, the studio didn't have
didn't have
enough
enough.
money to pay all of the
All the X-Men,
all
pay
the
for all the
X-Men
X-Men.
to be here. And in this one, he's running around in the Xavier school and he's just like, where is everybody? And
Oh
he's
yeah,
getting in an argument,
yeah,
and it
and they don't
shows all the X-Men. They're like
X-Men,
all
and
in a
they're being
room.
quiet, and they don't want him to know
And
that they're there, so
they
they
just
close the door.
close the door. Hilarious. I thought that
That
was
is that is a
great.
funny callback. And actually they all have, like, it's the first class cast. So it's
Yeah.
like James McAvoy and Nicholas Hoult, who played Beast, and
Mhm.
all they've got the younger cast members that they have in the school, and
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. It's just kind of funny how that worked, and I don't know. He does, th- and then they have cameos, a bunch of cameos, like you mentioned, the Brad Pitt one, and he plays a character that dies immediately, and I mean, it's all sorts of stuff like that. There's a lot of funny in it. It's a lot of funny that goes nowhere, I guess, is
Mhm.
my best example. Like
Yeah.
Terry Crews plays a character that they hire to be, and he wants to be X-Force, and then Terry Crews like immediately dies, and you're like that was a lot of effort just for a joke. I mean, they must have shot that, would have taken months to shoot all that footage, and then it's just a butt end of a joke. Um, so yeah, I get it. It's a comedy. You're supposed to make as many jokes, but maybe make jokes that further the plot of the story instead of kind of stop the story.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it also doesn't take itself too serious. Well,
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not
uh,
supposed to,
it's
right?
not
It's not
supposed to
supposed to.
take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Um uh
I hope that they can find the balance in this coming one with Wolverine, because Wolverine makes a like a cameo in this too, which at the end,
mhm.
where he's going through basically through Ryan Reynolds' career, killing. So
Oh,
so it's funny. It's like he's making fun. So it's like him sitting there reading the script. It's Ryan Reynolds reading the script for uh Green Lantern, and he goes, "This is gonna be epic." And Green Lantern famously was a massive flop
yeah.
for DC.
And he comes up
And
and
and Deadpool comes up and shoots Ryan Reynolds in the head. And then they do it again when they show scenes from X-Men Origin Wolverine, where he did play Deadpool, but a version of Deadpool that wasn't very liked and wasn't accepted. And so he shows
yeah.
up and he shoots that Deadpool, and they have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine just kind of responding like, what's going on? And he's like, "Shh, I'll see you later." So
It's pretty
it's
fun.
it's fun. They've set up this gimmick where he's time traveling. So I wonder how that's going to work in the plot of this new movie coming out. Is he going to, because he doesn't look like he's time traveling. He looks like he's jumping through different universes.
Different dimensions or something.
Yeah.
It looks like Doctor Strange's portal that they're
Yeah.
jumping into.
Yeah. Well,
So I don't know if
it's
Doctor Strange shows up for this one. Not
maybe.
sure
So
how
it's
that.
Disney trying to integrate their old characters into newer franchises. That's probably one way to do it with the different universes, you
Yeah.
know, porthole jumping or whatever you want to call it. I mean it and he mentions twice in this movie lazy writing as a joke. And the truth is the porthole stuff has become lazy writing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a convenience that we can just put out there. Now it was unique 10 years ago. Like it was like a kind of a unique
New
thing to,
thing.
you know,
Yeah.
and they've done it well. They did it well with the Spider-Man movies. They've done it okay. But at this point, I think it's kind of becoming a crutch for the industry to kind of lean on because they don't want to kill their characters. They don't want their characters to be finally dead. They don't want to do any of that because these
Yeah. It kind
characters
of
are
lowers stakes.
it does.
So
So that you never go to a Marvel movie going, "Oh, this is finalized." Nobody who's dead in this universe is finalized. It's all there's always the possibility that they're going to bring him back in some capacity. Cuz I mean that's what they're doing with Wolverine. Having Josh Brolin play the villain is kind of fun. It's funny because he mentions Thanos because Josh Brolin also plays
also
Thanos.
plays Thanos.
So I
Mm.
mean, it is it's more of the same. It's more meta. He's mentioning things that the characters in the movie wouldn't know, but it's stuff that audiences know. And he always does that. It's almost like his ability to know that kind of stuff is it's I don't know what it's almost like another power that he has
Mm.
as a character because he's always mentioning stuff that he as a character shouldn't really know, but the audience does, you know,
Huh, interesting.
like
I hadn't thought of that. If that was like one of his
his powers
kind of
maybe
powers.
just just to know thing like you know just to know he says stuff like Ryan Reynolds. He mentions Ryan Reynolds a lot. You know, he's good. How do you think he got ahead in life? It wasn't because of his acting ability. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of stuff. And he's poking fun at it himself, but at the same time, he's also like, yeah, no other characters really do this. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I'm having a hard time thinking of characters who do this in any franchise who mention
Well, I mean,
the people there.
it's not franchise, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Well,
is
yeah, but
one.
that's the character still mentioning stuff that's in the universe of the movie.
Oh,
Deadpool mentions things that are outside of the universe of the movie, like way
okay.
outside. So he's
Oh,
mentioning Green
interesting.
Lantern. He's talking
Yeah.
about other characters that Ryan Reynolds has played, other characters that you know Hugh Jackman has played. He's mentioning all of this stuff.
When he's
Like
like
really
when he says
interesting.
to Cable, he's like, "Man, you're really dark. You sure you're not from the DC
Yeah,
universe?"
yeah, yeah. So that kind of stuff, and it's funny and it's quippy and it's great to keep in, but it makes you think if you analyze it a little too much, you're gonna think, oh, so that's probably another power, a power of just knowing the basically about universes that aren't in your universe.
Maybe. I guess
Because
so.
he does the same thing in the comic books. He's always mentioning
Yeah.
stuff that the
Talking to the audience,
yeah
stuff outside of his
the universe
universe
that
and
they're
stuff.
in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
that's I just that it's just a thought I had because I mean, I can't think of another character that does that, honestly. I think comedies do it. Comedies can get away with it, right? Because comedies can lampoon or make fun of or other pop culture things. And this is what you and I talked about on our last one is like, how does this age over time if you're referencing
current events
that are
that
happening.
will pass on. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how un-PC he gets in this new one. Like, is he still going to be able to mention racial things? Because one of the running jokes is that they keep saying Cable's racist, and he keeps going, I'm not racist, and he's the bad guy, and he keeps going, but I'm not, and they keep saying stuff like you white supremacist and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
he's a white supremacist.
And he's like, but I'm not. And that's a 2018, right? So 2018
Yeah.
wasn't all that long ago, but it's funny. It'll be funny to see if he goes in that direction. And the first one, he calls the cab driver, he says, my little brown friend,
Yeah.
or my skinny brown friend, or whatever he says, so it is interesting that
We'll see how they do it this
that
time.
yeah, they
Yeah.
do it. If they just don't go there, that might be a good solution, just not go in the racial area.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
as
Anyway,
far
it's
as
a fun show, worth the watch. It sounds like they've set it up for Deadpool and Wolverine starts out. But at the same time, I don't know if it's going to have that his watch thing that he gets from Cable will have anything to do
with this new one,
with the
because
new one.
it
Don't
feels
know.
different in kind. It feels
Yeah.
like a different type of time traveling device.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with it.
Well,
We'll see.
and it'll be kind of crazy to see how they incorporate Vanessa into the story, because I would really hate it for them to do the same thing they did in this Deadpool 2, is just kind of keep her out of the story when she's so integral to his uh, who he is, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't go the PC route, like trying to be politically correct.
Well, hopefully they'll poke a little fun at the PC, how it's been.
So
Sure.
so what did you think of the action in this one?
I liked the fight between Juggernaut and I'm spacing
Colossus.
Colossus. Yeah, Colossus.
You like the
Yeah,
fight between
Colossus
them?
and Juggernaut fight I thought was pretty good.
Pretty good, even though it's a CGI, and he even says, massive CGI
massive
coming right up.
CGI.
Massive CGI fight coming right up.
Yep.
That was pretty good.
It was I liked that. I liked
the motorcade that was taking the prisoners. That's probably the
big yeah.
It's in the middle of the movie. It's probably one of the better action sequences. It's got the domino girl whose only power is luck.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and he keeps making fun of it, but it keeps happening.
It's fun to watch, but
yeah, it's fun to watch.
Happening to her.
It keeps
she
happening.
Just gets lucky.
She just gets lucky. Out. It just works. It is nuts that they have a character like. It's funny because they must have come up with all of the characters for X Force, for like with some of the worst powers. Like a guy who regurgitates acidic,
acid.
And then a guy who's invisible and doesn't say anything, and then Peter, and he kept calling him the wrong name, Paul. You mean Peter? Oh yeah, Peter. Never underestimate the mustache.
Oh boy. That was pretty funny.
There's a lot of laughs, but it just it's a lesser film.
Mm-hmm.
And I got high hopes for this one, because I guess one of the things that maybe Deadpool's missing is what they call the straight guy. Basically, they're in a comedy routine. There's the guy who plays the guy who's making all the jokes, and then somebody to bounce the jokes off of.
Oh,
who's usually not as funny, and they're usually keeping it straight. They're usually keeping it
the straight face.
The straight face.
Straight face.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that might be Wolverine for this.
That might be Wolverine in this. And that actually could bring a very interesting and good dynamic to this to this franchise. So, but we also got years and years and years of, what, 20, almost 25 years now of good, of X-Men movies. So we have a lot to go off of with Wolverine, and most of it's serious. Most of it's pretty down to earth serious. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next one. We will do a podcast about that when it comes out. Check us out on social media, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Sword in the Skull. If you're listening to this and not watching it, please go to YouTube and give us a like, share, and subscribe. That helps us out. And in the meantime, keep reading, keep listening, keep watching, learn more. We'll see you, brother.
see ya.
And that is why Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is pure pornography.
Oh, God, I wish I finished college.